Welcome to EP Daily. Today on the show, we join the rebellion against the Empire in the Rundown.
Plus, we get our asses to Mars with a behind-the-scenes look of a new movie with Matt Damon and Ridley Scott.
Woo! In your face, Neil Armstrong.
And then Darth Vader heads back in time to feudal Japan on the toy table. Also coming up, Steve and Raju review some of their favorite user-generated levels for Super Mario Maker. Marissa and I have a preview of this fall's coolest TV shows and much more today on EP Daily. Brought to you by EB Games. I'm your host, Victor Lucas, bringing you the latest in everything cool every single day. And when you travel to space, it's important to travel with lots of oxygen and rations. And something you should never forget is the Rundown. In space, no one can hear you scream, but they might hear you watching The Martian. Real-life NASA astronauts Scott Kelly and Kjell Lindgren were recently treated to a screening of the new Ridley Scott film aboard the International Space Station. Since the film won't be released on Earth until this Friday, they were pretty lucky to get an early copy. Kelly and Lindgren happen to be doing research that will be used during a real-life mission to Mars in the next few decades, and the filmmakers worked with NASA to help ensure the realism depicted on screen. We'll have a closer behind-the-scenes look at The Martian after the Rundown.
In your face, Neil Armstrong.
Head over to a less realistic sci-fi universe. The new game Star Wars Battlefront looks like a force to be reckoned with. EA has confirmed that the game will have its own dedicated servers, which means the gameplay will be much more smooth than if players were forced to share servers with other online games. Hardcore gamers tend to get very annoyed when an online game doesn't have its own dedicated servers, so fans can breathe a sigh of relief. This comes after the game received some criticism for only including a handful of maps and modes at launch. Star Wars Battlefront will drop out of hyperspace on November 17th. Here to help me dissect this very spacey rundown is my spacey friend, Marissa Roberto. I feel like the spacey one today. I think jet lag's affecting me. All right, let's talk about Battlefront.
Well, I can only speak from my experience of the game. I played with a bunch of people at once, one of them being Jose, who totally kicked my butt.
Yes. Jose the Annihilator.
Honestly, I've only played one big multiplayer mission.
Yeah.
I didn't get a lot of backstory at all before I went into it. So we're going to have a lot more hands-on time with it before the game comes out. Here in Stockholm, in fact. So, no, I'm just hoping for the best for this game, that's all.
Yeah, it's a little disconcerting to have EA say that we did our research and not enough people care about the single-player stuff.
Because that can't be right. That cannot be right.
Well, whether it's right or not, it just feels a little sort of offhanded and a little sort of dismissive, you know? And it feels like this was a chance to kind of stack the deck and give us even more than what we got out of the pandemic games. But the proof will be in the pudding. Maybe this will end up being one of the best games, if not the best game of 2015. I'm excited as hell to jump in. It looks amazing.
Pull back the reins on that one.
Well, we'll see.
Okay, yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We will see.
We also need to see this Martian.
I want to see this movie so bad.
I know.
We're here in Stockholm, and we're hearing reports from other reviewers that have seen this thing, and they're flipping out. It feels like it's kind of the new Gravity in a way, which was an unbelievable film. Remember that experience in theater?
Yeah, well, I just remember my most recent in the IMAX with Interstellar, that was unbelievable. So, and you know what? I'm terrified of space. I'm absolutely terrified. And to be alone in space is just probably the most frightening experience I think anyone could ever have.
But I think these movies are kind of trying to show us that. They're trying to give us the cautionary tale, but also give us a very science-based look at how to deal with these unbelievably scary situations. I think somewhere down the line, and it's movies like The Martian that are kind of leading us to this acceptance that, humans are meant to be traveling through space. How crazy is that?
I don't think we're meant to be, but we're definitely going to push.
We're meant to be.
Our brains just allow us to build these things. Well, not my brain, but a rocket scientist's brain has allowed us to travel and do these things. But no, humans are not supposed to. This is why we have gravity. We're pulled down to the earth.
I think we're supposed to go, but it is certainly not without its
It's
dangers.
scary out there.
It is very scary, as our behind-the-scenes look at The Martian proves.
Hi, kids. This is Mark Watney, astronaut. We're about 6 hours before our launch here on the Hermes, and I've been asked by the good folks at NASA to introduce you to some of our crewmates here.
I play a guy named Mark Watney. He's an astronaut. He's a botanist, actually. That's his specialty, and he's one of 5 people on this Ares mission to Mars who are conducting research and experiments. This takes place in the very near future. They're going to spend about a little over a month there and try to learn more about Mars as a potential colony Watney someday. So he's there with his team, and this freak weather event occurs, and they all get separated. He gets impaled by the antenna, the communications antenna, rips off and sticks into him, but then tears through his biomonitor. So all of his teammates are seeing that he's got no signs of life. They have reason to believe that he's dead. They have to get out right away, or else the MAV that they're going to take off and is going to tip. And so they basically call the mission, they scrub the mission and leave. They think their dead comrade on Mars, only to find out later that he actually survived.
During the evacuation, astronaut Mark Watney was killed.
Teddy, he's got an astronaut who's stranded on Mars. He's got 5 of them coming home. Do you risk losing 6, or do you save 5?
This is Mark Watney,
And I'm still alive, obviously.
It's even worse than they thought, essentially, because he's not been killed. He's actually been left. So, and then they, so better and worse. In a way, it's great that he's alive, but they can't get to him. And so the difficulty is trying to keep him alive for long enough to get back to Mars and to get him home.
Houston, be advised. We've got a video message. It's directed to the whole crew. Play it.
Mindy is a lower-level employee at NASA and is there on a night shift one night and gets sent a message to track a location in Acidalia Planitia, which is where the HAB is located, and out of just human curiosity starts scanning for the body that should be there because it's only been a month, and discovers that the astronaut that they thought they had left behind on Mars is actually alive, and Mark Watney is surviving somehow. And so she's the first person to discover this and brings it to her superiors, which sort of gets her thrust into a weight class that she wasn't in before. And she does really well in it.
This is pilot Rick Martinez doing the pre-flight checks. As you can see, he's using some pretty sophisticated math to get us to Mars. You got enough fingers there, Rick?
Just balancing my checkbook.
It really hits you with like how serious something like this is, and we were talking before, but like every station, like this guy has a flight plan, she has all the numbers of the ship, and I'm actually operating the ship, and then I have a commander, and then there's 2 other people here helping out. So all that for one vessel. So, and you get to see that a lot of it is life and death.
I'm Beth Johansson, the computer expert.
That's it.
I'm psyched about going to Mars.
I think that the same reason a lot of us have a fear of the unknown, there's also an excitement of the unknown. I mean, that's certainly one of the reasons I get excited about films that takes place in space.
Woo! Oh my God, I can't wait to see The Martian. It comes out this weekend.
Yeah, if you don't already have your TV snacks prepared, prepare them for the next segment, because we are talking all the new fall TV shows after this.
I'm Mary Franklin. I'm the event director for Reed Pop for Lucasfilm's Star Wars Celebration. My favorite Star Wars moment. It's hard to pick, but my favorite Star Wars moment, I think, is back in 2002 when I worked on the very first Star Wars Celebration that I worked on for Lucasfilm. Of course, it's a huge amount of getting ready, and it's weeks of sleepless nights and lots of details. Right before we opened the doors, the first morning, I went out the door and walked down the line, just quietly, right before we opened the doors. The line stretched 6 blocks down and then around a corner and like down a few more blocks, and it hit me like I have this little tiny part in doing something for this huge Star Wars community, these Star Wars fans who are here and appreciate and love this so much. And it was like probably one of the biggest thrills of my life to make that realization. It wasn't just work, it was creating memories that are probably an important part of people's lives, and seeing how fans celebrate Star Wars. It was a great moment for me.
Nice memory there, but you know what? It's time to start talking about the cooler weather that's happening, even since yesterday here at Stockholm, huh?
Time to go inside and watch some TV.
Yeah, that's what it means, right? It's fall TV time, so it's time to talk about our favorite shows that might be returning or might be brand new. And I'm going to start with The Flash Season 2. We are going to see multiple Earths. We're going to see different timelines, which is going to be super cool. And the Flash family roster is going to expand, and we're going to see more from the incredible Rogues Gallery. Cannot wait for that show.
I wanted you to choose something a little different, something that you were going to surprise me with.
How about Arrow Season 4, which really was the birthplace for this Greg Berlanti DC Comics universe that we're getting out there. Season 3 of Arrow was a bit dour, so it's time to lighten the mood a little bit. So I'm super excited about the new season. But I'm also really, really stoked for this brand new show, Supergirl, also from Greg Berlanti. And the lead, Melissa Benoist, is absolutely wonderful. I saw the Comic-Con panel that she was on, and she totally charmed me. I can't wait for this show.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited for Supergirl as well, but I mean, you could have gone with less superheroes.
Okay, I have
choices.
one. Not superhero. The Expanse. This starts on Sci-Fi Channel. It's a mystery. It's a pulpy sci-fi thing with very thought-provoking, and it looks like it might come the closest yet to approximating the wonderful Ronald D. Moore Battlestar Galactica series. So I'm really, really stoked for this show to start.
When you spend your whole life living under a dome, even the idea of an ocean is almost impossible to imagine.
My fifth one, let's go back to superheroes. Jessica Jones, who is a former superhero, now she's a private investigator. This is part of the Netflix sweep of characters that we're going to see form the Defenders.
Yeah.
Kristen Ritter is Jessica Jones. Incredibly important character that I know nothing about. That's why I'm excited about Jessica Jones.
So 4 out of 5 choices for this fall season.
Superheroes, yeah. It's an incredible time to be me.
Okay, great. It really is, everybody.
Okay.
Everything's coming up. Victor Lucas.
Okay, what are
Let's talk
yours?
about something that I am ashamed to admit. I like some reality TV. I enjoy a bit of it. The Muppets, we're going to see their drama.
Okay.
So I'm really excited to watch them behind the scenes in front of the camera.
I hate the 405. Behind the scenes.
How'd the surgery go?
Oh, fine. But I kept biting the stitches off, so I threw this thing on.
It's going to be docu-style comedy. It's going to be hilarious. It already started. I'm excited for the next episode.
So everybody has to watch it to make it a hit.
No, I'm pretty sure. Well, reality TV in general gets hits. Okay, I'm sure they're not going to have any problem with this.
They're not real.
What?
Okay, that is an offensive stereotype.
Continuing on, excited about this new show called The Bastard Executioner. This is brought to us by the same guy that brought us Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, Kurt Sutter.
Yeah, so it's going to be Sons of Anarchy just back in time, like they've just transported it back into a time machine to King Edward's time.
Okay.
I'm the knight you sent to his death at the hands of the hoarding Scots.
There's going to be a lot of blood, I'm sure.
Blood. He likes his blood, that Mr. Sutter.
A lot of blood, a lot of drama coming to you there. Another show that promises to have a lot of blood is Scream Queens. I'm not really into the horror genre at all, but I am into the comedy horror genre.
Okay, all right.
And this one stars Scream Queen herself, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes,
she is so cool.
Oh, man, she is so freaking cool.
Yeah, she is.
But it also stars Emma Roberts. She's at the forefront of this one as well. So it's brought to us by the same people, get this, that made Glee and American Horror Story.
So there's all those shows that we're excited for. When we come back, we're going to see what's new on the toy table. Don't go away. Welcome back to EP Daily.
Yeah, remember how we were talking before, how everything's coming up Victor Lucas when it comes to television?
It's great to be me,
in the last segment?
Yep.
Yeah, guess what else is coming up, Victor Lucas?
Toys! I picked up these two figures at Comic-Con this year. I was taking a look at all kinds of things, but I could not get these two off of my mind. I've got a Darth Vader and a Stormtrooper here like you've never seen before. They're infused with ancient Japanese samurai stylings. Very artistic, very mystical even, very creative, and it's also a wonderful tip of the hat to all of the mythology and all of the inspiration that George Lucas drew from when he created the Star Wars myth. He obviously was looking at a lot of samurai. It permeated the look and feel of Star Wars, so it only makes sense to kind of revert back and sort of reinterpret everything with this kind of samurai look. Now, Darth Vader is absolutely staggering in his samurai garb here. He's got wood pieces, he's got purple in this sort of drapery on his helmet and on his armor pieces. He's got a scooped kind of boot here, which makes him look even a little bit more menacing. The scowl on his face, he actually has an open jaw as opposed opposed to just the vents that you would normally see on the Darth Vader helmet. And even the blade of his lightsaber is a katana, and it's just absolutely killer. You lose a little bit of the detail because it's all so black, but that's true of the Darth Vader costume anyways. I think the Stormtrooper actually turned out even better, mostly because the Stormtrooper design is just so timeless. It's so incredible. And that's kind of what is kind of fused into this ancient samurai kind of look here too. Robotic, machined, but also very artistic and very graceful with the designs and the armor plating. You do see a little bit more humanity in this. You also see a little, full wood. This Stormtrooper comes with a blade as well as a blaster. I even love the little ornate swirls that you see in the breathing apparatus of the Stormtrooper. These are incredible. They're from Tamashii Nations and Bandai, and they're a little bit hard to, I think, chase down. You probably have to get online and figure out where you're going to get these things. Absolutely love them, and they are a great addition to the toy table. Those things are absolutely incredible, and guess what? The Boba Fett Samurai Edition comes out in November.
What? Okay, maybe I want that one. Maybe I want
Another
that
toy
one.
table.
Listen,
I smell one.
we've got to go to Toronto now because Steven Raj, you are here with Super Mario Maker, the user-generated levels. Take it away, boys.
So Nintendo has launched Super Mario Maker. It is the 30th anniversary of this great character, and we've had some time now, so we're actually going to take a look at the user-generated levels in here, because really that's what this game is about.
That's right. This is Super Mario Maker.
This is endless Mario. And you know what? It's one of these things where it just reminds you how great Nintendo is at making video games. My big problem here is, there's over 1 million levels already created for this, but it's really, really hard to find the good ones.
Really? I don't know. I found that the way that you can go in and look at levels and sample levels, it's fast at least. There's not a lot of downloading. The levels download quickly. So you go into Course World on your Super Mario Maker, and then you can see the featured levels, the levels that have the most stars, like their likes, up and coming levels.
And a Maker Zone. Yeah. There's a Maker Zone. I like that.
So that's what this game is all about. There is a bit of a core game there you can play through, but Super Mario Maker is all about you making levels, or if you're like me, you don't have time for this kind of stuff. It's about playing other people's levels. It blows my mind looking at some of these levels, the time people have on their hands.
I think that this needs an update. I think they need to have some sort of editing staff actually really featuring a lot of these stuff, because the things that I found a lot of right now are a ton of auto run levels, which I hate.
This is a huge phenomenon. There are people out there designing really good and really challenging levels to play. There's levels that are kind of like Super Meat Boy that I couldn't even get part way through. It's almost a weird subgenre of Super Mario Maker already. There carries Mario through the entire level. You don't do anything, but all this crazy stuff happens around you. They're fun to watch. There's absolutely no interactivity involved in these.
Exactly. There are literally hundreds of these things. They are getting started like crazy. And honestly, the titles are don't press anything. And as soon as you get to the level, something kicks Mario and away he goes through it, and fine.
Some of these automatic levels are amazing. There's a Legend of Zelda one where it plays the Zelda theme as you travel over the music blocks and stuff, and Mario's in his little Link costume, and but you're right, they're not a game. You could literally get the same effect watching these on YouTube as you do through the game. There are some amazing traditional levels too. There are people who have just got such amazing grasp of level design and creativity and different ways of using the characters and different ways of using the enemies. The auto runs are a little bit boring, but there's a lot in there that's really great, and that's what I like about games like this.
I also do think that, people are trying to make super hard levels. There are new experiences here. There are a lot of really talented people who are playing around this. Hey, I'm working on a Master Pizza. Well, yeah, okay, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm sure it'll get buried. This is not going to be auto run.
But I like the game. I'm really impressed with what Nintendo's done with this. I'm impressed with the tools. I'm impressed with how clean it is. I'm impressed with how much fun it is, how easy it is to make stuff. And I'm impressed with what other people can do. You're right. We've had some time with Super Mario Maker and its plethora of user-generated content. What are you going to give it?
The only knock is actually finding the great levels. As a whole package, 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, 8.5.
I have a feeling we're going to be reviewing Super Mario Maker every month for the rest of the show.
Okay,
what do you think?
I don't know. I don't know about that one anymore.
Okay.
Don't go anywhere, because after the break, we've got your Twitter question of the day.
If you want more EP, go to our website, epn.tv, for bonus content and full episodes. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. Welcome back to the Electric Playground. It's time for our Twitter question of the day. This one's from Curtiz at Curtiz Eric. As someone who is trying to get back into video games, what would you guys recommend to play on the PS4? Sounds like somebody got themselves a PS4. Good job.
Yeah, that's very exciting. I'm excited for you. I don't know. There's so many games to choose from.
Are you going to say Batman Arkham Knight again? You've got to drop that.
Are you
fascination with Batman?
Yeah.
Well, of course I would say that.
Of course.
But this sounds like an adult that's got, I don't know how old you are, Curtiz.
We don't know.
But
we don't know the situation. You could be a young adult.
It could be a young adult, but I think this person might be over 19. I'm going to suggest Grand Theft Auto 5,
That's
which
a really good one.
positively screams on the PlayStation 4 and is an absolute wonderful experience. It's an amazing game.
A lot of fun.
Very dark.
It is dark, so if you want to just lighten things up, I don't know, if you have a family, I feel like Little Big Planet is
Disney
good game.
Infinity 3.0.
Oh, better.
With some Star Wars action.
Better. Let's do that.
All right. Okay. Good question. If you've got a question for us or you want to get caught up in the show, go to our website, epn.tv.
We got more coming for in the next episode of EP Daily, including a whole episode of Assassin's Creed.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
EP would like to thank its sponsors, Nintendo, Xbox. EP's mobile coverage is brought to you by Gameloft, makers of Asphalt 8 Airborne, which you can play on your Android or iOS device for free right now. Take us back in time. This was a pretty crazy time period, the Victorian era of London.
Yeah, we were sort of lucky, although at the same time, because we had a lot of photography. This is the first time we do an Assassin's Creed game with photography from the era you're building. So when we came to London and visited and fact-checked what we were doing, it was a lot easier to say, oh, that building wasn't there, that was there, that was reconstructed. And we're not just going off concepts or anything like that. So from photography and all that, you don't get the real vibe, right? But once you come here and you start doing the boat on the Thames, or you go to St. James Park and see how quiet it is in the middle of downtown, sort of start feeling the game a little bit more.